Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how expensive Mexico is.
Bruh.
For Mexicans. Yeah, that's right. Not necessarily expensive for you out there. Well, it might be, but regardless, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about that reality and all that stuff. And I decided, you know, today will be a perfect time. You already know. Let me switch the camera around and show you guys around here. All right, where I'm at. I'm here at Paseo 60. I was actually visiting my really good friends out there, Mike and Angie. Shout out to you. I decided to make a video because I was like in this touristy area, this nice area. This area, again, let me just turn the camera around. This area, which by the way, it's dead right now. You know, come back in a few hours and this place is packed full of people. We're right in that lull, all right, in that moment in between all that action going on. But this is a place that it's full of hotels. I'll show you a little bit more as we get out of here. All right, we're just gonna walk and talk as we do. All right. We haven't made one of these episodes in a long time. Haven't made one of these videos in a while, as you guys know. But you know, there's a lot of hotels here. There's a lot of tourists here. You know, there's a lot of nice, beautiful stuff here. All the nice, expensive restaurants. You know, you got the buses. You know, you got, you know, again, the really expensive clothing. You know, you got all the touristy stuff. You know, the Cancun touristy stuff that's expensive and clothes and all that good stuff. And then, you know, out here you can come out here and get your bus that'll take you wherever you want to go. You know, you can take the bus, you can take a rental car, or you can take you know, the tour bus. You can take the bus to the beach. I could go on and on. But as we walk away, we're gonna start seeing how big this area actually is. Again, we're gonna try and keep the camera pointed forward as much as we can so you guys can see exactly what's going on out here and where we are. But look at this. Look how big this place is. And we are actually in the area. All right. So this place goes even bigger and beyond, all right? Above all that. All right, so we're just gonna keep the camera forward and we're gonna walk out here. So we're actually on the other side of Paseo Montejo. This is actually Calle 60, aka 60th Street, 60. And on the other side is Paseo Montejo. We're gonna be walking down Paseo Montejo, okay? As we continue this walk here. But we're actually gonna be walking all the way to Avenida Colón, all right? And on Avenida Colón is where we have Plaza America and you know, we have all the touristy stuff. But anyways, I digress, guys. As you guys already know, look at all, by the way, look how nice, you see? That's the bus that takes you to the beach. I know today's video is turning out to be a little bit more of a little tour guide here of Merida, a little tour guide of this area here, but you know, again, hey guys, I just want to give a quick little apology before the show gets started on the shaky camera work. Something was wrong with the gyroscope on the camera itself. I need to get a new camera soon, and I sincerely apologize. I couldn't even tell until later on when I was editing and I saw it was a jittery mess. It was just a lot more shaky and jittery than usual. Also, I haven't really done one of these videos in a while, so yeah, you know, I also got to keep a little bit of a steady hand, and I didn't. So again, guys, you know, just wanted to give you a quick little heads up before you guys let me know in the comments how shaky the video was. All right, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed today's video, which again is a bit of an interesting topic, but I just figured, hey, you know, you guys enjoy my walks and talks and my rants, so why not do one for old time's sake? All right, so let's get back to the show, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. You know, again, in today's video, you know, what we're mainly going to be talking about is the fact that how Mexico is not affordable for the typical Mexican. And that's just the truth, you know what I mean? The typical average, your everyday Mexican cannot afford to live, I mean, this luxurious life. Now, you on the other hand, hola, buenos días, buenos días. You guys on the other hand, you know, you can come out here with your dollars and your euros, and all of a sudden you guys can live an amazing life out here. You guys can really enjoy, you know, living like a very wealthy individual out here for very little money. And that's the thing, you know, today's topic, you know, what we're going to be talking about more than anything else is the simple fact that, you know, we gringos out here, you know, all of us out here that keep coming out here from other countries that have a very valuable currency. You know, the reality is that it might be a valuable currency. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to multitask. Like I said, I haven't made one of these videos in a while. It's not easy to walk and talk and all this other stuff at the same time. It's like chewing gum and walking at the same time. It's hard. Bruh. Anyways, so but like I said, you know, for the typical Mexican out there, you know, a typical average Mexican like that guy working that job right there, he cannot afford anything in any of these areas. Just like you back home cannot afford anything in Beverly Hills or Rodeo Drive or Saks Fifth Avenue or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like the same thing. Now what happens is that, like, you know, you're coming here and staying in a extremely expensive hotel or hotel chain. You know, like we have here the Hyatt Regency, and to you it's like, oh wow, I'm actually underpaying because the Hyatt Regency is extremely expensive back home, and out here is actually extremely cheap. And because of that, you know, it makes you feel like a very rich person. But again, if you bring it out to pesos and you're talking about the fact that, like, you know, how is a typical Mexican going to be able to afford a hotel like that, a hotel like the Hyatt Regency, a hotel like here or this area here like Fiesta Americana, you know, you start really realizing, oh wait a minute, a typical Mexican cannot afford this. Now they can afford the vacation. I talk to you guys all the time about how they vacation. You know, Mexicans love to vacation. Mexicans love to take time off. As hard as they work, they love to enjoy, you know, family time and all that stuff. But what they end up doing is that they end up renting a house on the beach, and they have all the families like staying together, and they're all partying and barbecuing and enjoying life together, stuff like that. You'll see tons of Mexican tourists out here as well that can afford, you know, some of these things. Also, a lot of people, you know, you already know, just like we do back home, a lot of people, unfortunately, you know, what they end up doing in order to be able to afford to come out on vacation out here or to do any of these things is that they put themselves in debt. And that's another, you know, reality as well. So right now we're walking, this right here is at Plaza Americana. This is like one of the oldest hotels, or, you know, one of the most prestigious type hotels until like the Hyatt and the Holiday Inn you know, started showing up out here. But you know, you can get your money exchange out here. You know, we're gonna be bumping into Walmart right now. Okay, so right now at the other end here, we're gonna bump into Walmart, and we're gonna hit Paseo Montejo, and we're gonna go south into the center of the city. But you know, the reason I'm making this video is because there's a huge misconception, and I keep, you know, hearing over and over again from other Mexicans, you know, that, you know, one of the things that actually upsets them about a lot of foreigners coming out here, it's not the foreigners coming out here, it's the fact that a lot of foreigners are basically, you know, just constantly saying, oh, it's so cheap, everything's inexpensive, it's cheap. So think how that makes a typical Mexican feel, you know, where they don't see that way. They don't see it as something that's extremely cheap. You know, look at that nice mural there. But they don't look at this area, you know, they don't look at you know, all these things that's cheap. You know, no matter what it is, whether we're talking about rent, we're talking about the light bill, whatever we're talking about. For example, I just got my light bill the other day, 2,200 pesos, which comes out to $60 US for 2 months. So it comes out to $30 a month, and not $30, I'm sorry, 15.50, $65, sorry, $65 a month. Sorry, my math is not so good sometimes. That's a Walmart over there. You keep going north that way, Paseo Montejo, and then we're gonna go down south on Paseo Montejo. We haven't done one of these in a while. We haven't walked down Paseo Montejo in a while, so I felt like, let's do it. Okay, so, you know, $65 US a month in the middle of summer with the AC cranking all the time. And you know, my wife, which is Mexican, born and raised out here and everything, and she looks at that light bill like extremely excessive. Which, by the way, I got people that have light bills in the $5,000, in the 5,000 peso range. ¿Quieres entrar ahí? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I I was being a dumbass gringo there. I was just trying to be nice because I saw that the lady behind me was trying to hurry up to get to the bus, and I didn't want the bus to leave, so I was gonna see if I can stop the bus before you know, it got away without her. Anyways, all right, look at that. By the way, we have a bunch of bike stands now. That bike looks just like mine. The hell? It's not mine, but it looks just like mine. That's interesting. Anyways, all right, so pretty slow out there. It's Saturday afternoon at the height of the heat, you know, so it's very nice and hot and humid out here. And yeah, you know what I mean, I'm just taking a walk through here now, but that's what you're kind of seeing. It's a little empty. You're seeing traffic and stuff like that, but it's a little empty. This place gets packed later on at night as we continue with the night and the weekend and the festivities, as we usually do. But yeah, guys, you know, at the end of the day, you know, a typical date, for example, you know, with me and Christian, you know, a typical Mexican date really is not going to cost me more than like $10, $15 tops. You know, let's just say $15. So for $15, you know, I can go and take her out for tacos. I can take her out to like the park. I can take her out to you know, on a date, on like an actual date, you know what I mean, like you know, and we're having a nice, beautiful, awesome time, and it's not going to cost me that much. In fact, I say it all the time, we'll be walking by it, but me and Christian's first date ever was out here on Paseo Montejo at Helados Colon, and I was super broke back then, but yet I could afford to go on a date. I can afford you know, to buy 2 ice creams, you know, which was a cost of a total of $5, you know, to go on a date. That's a tourist bus there. All right, again, we're in the middle of the touristy area. It's like a museum. All right, I know I've given these tours before. We walked through here before all the time. Nice little walk. But you know, you got to remember that if a typical Mexican is making a very small amount of money, that, you know, all their expenses have to be around the same. And you know, a lot of gringos, a lot of, you know, expats out there, you know, they get upset when they get gringo priced. But the reality is that they don't even know what the actual Mexican price is. And so how the hell do they even know if they're getting gringo priced or not? And so that's the thing, you know, there's just so many other things, you know, because a lot of times, you know, they're expecting someone to do a very hard, difficult job, and they want to pay the person, you know, $2, $3, you know, and it's like, you know, there's a lot of things involved. There's just a lot of things. And so I think what really needs to happen, you know, with a lot of people that move out here, is that a lot of people need to realize that, yeah, things might be cheap for you, but it doesn't mean that they're cheap for everyone else out here. And with that being said, you got to act accordingly, because otherwise you're probably gonna get gringo priced. You follow what I'm saying? You know, when all of a sudden you start realizing, you know, there's all these people that are just gonna take, you know, advantage of the fact that, you know, you're out there and you don't even know what the prices of things are, or what the, you know, what things actually are supposed to be, you know, priced at. And so, you know, right now you might think this is a great deal. You got 2 shirts for $10, and it is a great deal. Two shirts for $10. But then you're thinking, but wait a minute, I can probably get 2 shirts for $10 back home. So let's just, you know, keep that, you know, on lock as well, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and sometimes it'll be a lot more expensive than that. We got a little bazaar here. Oh, I know this area. I know this. I know these people. I've been here before. So it seems like they have a little bazaar, a little whatever here all the time. I don't want to spend too much time here because of the music, obviously. But I'll just give you a quick little walk through here so you guys can see. But almost everybody out here is a Mexican vendor. And these Mexican vendors, you know, they're out here, you know, again, selling you, you know, their products at Mexican prices. But you're probably going to find a lot of these things out here, depending on the table that you go to, well, again, depends on the price. And that's just a fact, you know. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully the music is not gonna get us demonetized. Look at this. So there's like everything and everything out here, okay? All right, hold on a second. Let's all right, so we're back out here. Yeah, sorry, I had to interrupt myself there for a second because of the music, but I just wanted to show you again just the typical little things that happen out here. And this thing is probably going to be open tomorrow, Sunday as well, and so on and so forth. Usually Paseo Montejo in this whole area is a lot more lively on a Sunday. All right, you know, today, you know, being Saturday, it's you know, just a regular day, I guess. You know what I mean? A lot of people are at the beach right now. A lot of people are shopping. A lot of people are, you know, just doing other things. But Sunday's like a more typical day for activity out here. But look, I know today's video is all over the place. It's funny because a lot of times I make these videos as I'm walking and talking or biking, and I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I don't know anything that's even coming out of my mouth. I'm like, am I even having coherent thoughts and all that stuff? And then I quickly realize after I'm editing and you know, seeing the final product, they're like, ah, it's a pretty good show. And I'm hoping to God that we got a similar situation here. But look, I mean, it's not like I need a whole video to tell you the obvious, you know, as to, you know, how, you know, there's a huge disparity between the rich and the poor out here. And when you come out to this country, all of a sudden now you're the rich. You could be the poorest of the poor back home, but when you come out here, you're automatically rich. All right. And because of that, unfortunately, you know, a lot of us come out here and we have this, you know, humongous misconception, you know, thinking to ourselves that that, you know, by us constantly saying how things are cheap and they're cheaper and they're least expensive and all this other stuff, that we're actually like being nice to the people. We're not. It's a huge insult. Imagine if all of a sudden, whatever your country you're in, and you got like a bunch of Chinese tourists, or you have a bunch of tourists, you know, that are coming from, I don't know, any other country. And every time that you're constantly talking to them, anytime that you're constantly having a conversation with them, all they're saying is that, man, I love America, I love Canada, everything is so cheap out here, everything is so inexpensive, everything is so awesome, you know, everything is affordable, there's so much freedom, there's so much whatever, all this other stuff. And so, you know, when it comes at least to the monetary aspect, you know, think about it. You'll be like, it's not cheap. What are you talking about? You know how expensive it is to live in the USA? You know how expensive it is to live in Vancouver or in Canada? And so a lot of people are going to say the same thing. A lot of people right now are gentrifying Mexico City. They're gentrifying this city. They're gentrifying all of Mexico. And a similar thing is happening already. Where rich areas are getting more expensive, where poor areas are now becoming expensive, where moderately priced areas are getting expensive. And it's because of many things, not just the inflation and the obvious, you know, what is it, the obvious elephant in the room here, but a lot of it has to do with, believe it or not, the fact that, like, you know, things are the economy and the whole country as a whole is growing, and there's a lot of foreign investment coming in, there's a lot of money coming in, and it's just, again, keeps pricing out the locals, you know, just like it does back home. It prices out the locals, it prices out, you know, it forces you to move from somewhere, you know, to come out here, or it forces the people that live out here to move elsewhere. Because, for example, a lot of the Mexicans in Mexico City now, they have to move out of Mexico City, and they're coming to cheap places like Merida. And there's really expensive places in Mexico. Again, if you go to Mexico City, there's some neighborhoods that are going to be just as expensive as Los Angeles or New York. And a lot of these people are getting priced out. They're moving out here to places like Merida and other places, and all of a sudden now they're, you know, raising the price on everything just because of other people moving in that have, again, not just you guys watching these videos, but other Mexicans and other Latinos, you know, moving out here, and other areas like this that are, again, increasing the price and the demand for so many things out there. And that's just the reality, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so all of a sudden the question now becomes, well, what about the locals? You know, what about the poor people? You know, like my handyman, the lady that cleans my house, you know, just the regular worker people, you know, the people that sell tacos on the you know, little taco stand. What happens to those people? Well, what happens to those people is the fact that now all of a sudden, all of those individuals out there, they can't afford to live here anymore. They can't afford to pay rent. They can't afford, you know, a lot of the things. So they now have to move further out. They got to move out to the pueblos, to the villages. And now all of a sudden, they used to wake up and be able to go to work in 10-15 minutes. And now they got to wake up and they got to commute like 45 minutes to an hour to get to work. And I can go on and on. Oh, well, look at this. This changed a lot. I remember this was a building that was all torn down, and this thing tore down, and I got like an ice cream shop here. Cool. All right, I used to live down this street all the way down. But anyways, I got the pink hotel there and all that stuff. But yeah, guys, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we got to keep all that in mind, you know. So, you know, when you're giving somebody a tip out there, you know, let's say you ride an Uber and you give a little bit of a tip, or let's say you're in a restaurant and you say, hey, I want to give you know, 20% instead of giving the average 10% that a typical Mexican does. You know, you're helping everybody. You know, you're helping everybody. Things are getting extremely expensive for the typical Mexican. So all of a sudden, if you're coming out here and you're spending money, if you're coming out here and you're giving extra tips, you're coming out here and you're helping the typical Mexican, the typical individual out here with a little extra cash, a little extra money, so that they can pay their bills, trust me, they're going to be very happy. Because the typical, you know, person that lives out here, the typical, again, Mexican, they know fully well that there's a lot of foreigners moving out here. And if there's a Mexican from Mexico City that has money and they move out here, listen, they're not going to be tipping. They're not going to be as nice and helpful as a gringo that's moving, you know, with their white guilt or whatever, all right? And they're coming out here and they're tipping, you know, everything and anything that they can. And not just tipping. I mean, it goes beyond tipping. It goes, you know, it's so many other things, you know, by offering more job opportunities and offering employment to so many people. You know, whether it's, you know, someone cleaning your house, whether it's construction work, you know, whether it's, you know, your local bike shop, you know, that takes care of your bike. You know, whether it's the local fruit and vegetable stand, you know, whether it's the local fruit or vegetable stand that you go to instead of going to Walmart or the typical grocery store. The more you support the local community, the better it's going to be for everybody else. And that's it, because price increases are here to stay. There's a lot of things that, you know, are in play here that is what's really causing, you know, this massive inflation all over the world. And everyone's going to be feeling it no matter what. So you might as well do your part. Instead of again, you know, you can do simple things like, instead of going to a really fancy restaurant, eat at the local taco stand guy. You know, instead of going to, you know, Walmart, or going to, you know, Chedraui, or going through Soriana, or any one of these very expensive Mexican grocery stores. You buy it locally from your local fruit vendor, from your local meat vendor, from your local vendor. That's it, you know. And I can go on and on. Buy from the local bakery, you know, buy local, just keep it local. Out here it's very easy to do all that. And it just goes on with everything else. I mean, if you want to live in a nice, fancy, expensive looking house and home and area, it's going to cost you. If you want to live nice and humble, and all you care about is making sure your bills are low, you live in a safe neighborhood, you got a roof over your head, and all that other stuff, you'll also be fine. All right, it's all going to depend on you. We've talked about this many times before, but you know, the reality is that, here, let's walk through here. All right, we're at the end of Paseo Montejo over there. Let's go through Parque Santa Ana over here. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, you know, long story short, you know what I mean, you are wanted out here, your dollars are wanted out here, your euros are wanted out here, everything is wanted out here. But you also just got to have that well, you just got to, you know, keep it real, and you got to make sure that you know, are fully aware of your surroundings, fully aware of where you're at and the people you're with. And so, you know, the thing is, it's, you know, this goes beyond just you know, respect. Depending on the part of Mexico you're in, just like depending on whatever part of the world you're in, it's gonna, you know, depending on how you dress and how you act, is gonna depend on how people will treat you as well. And I could go on and on. So, you know, I hope you guys are enjoying today's episode, as we are just randomly rambling as we randomly, you know, walk around Merida. We walk through Paseo Montejo and we have a nice little chat, little walk and talk like we used to back in the day. I feel like there's an event going on over here. This is behind the church. There's definitely something going on over here. So we're about to hit Parque Santa Ana. You know, we were at the end of Paseo Montejo, and now we're walking towards the church. You know, this is behind the church, and we're going towards the park, and we're just gonna see what people are up to. But the reason that people can live out here, even though they don't make much money, even though they might not have all the resources that you might have and all this other stuff, is simply because there's so many free things out here. There's so much freedom out here. There's so many things that people can do out here that don't cost them anything except their time. And you know, I don't know what's going on over here, but I'm definitely gonna probably get demonetized with the AC/DC playing in the background there. Bruh. Sorry about that. Yeah, see, I'm used to already kind of recording in front of a microphone and not having, you know, the camera not turn off, you know, because I used to record in just one shot like we do today. But now, since I've been in the office, you know, and recording in the office, you know, I get to, you know, edit and cut. Oh, look at this, a horseless carriage. How about that? So, all right, guys, I hope you were able to, you know, capture. I hope you guys were able to listen and hear, you know, what I was saying without the interruption of all that music, you know, that AC/DC, which, by the way, I don't have my AC/DC shirt on today that I know everybody loves. So, but I think we're gonna start ending this show here. Seems like we're already gotten to the end, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed today's little walk around town, you know, walk around Paseo Montejo, Parque Santa Ana, and beyond, because I sure did. It's been a while, and I miss it. I miss these walks. I just, you know, I gotta get back into it. You know, it takes practice, you know, and it takes a lot of time and dedication in order to, you know, be able to do these videos on a regular basis without missing a beat. Because today, my God, it felt like I haven't ridden a bike in like a year or years. And it was a pain in the, it was difficult to make this video, but I hope it came out good, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and the show and everything else. So you already know I'm gonna put an end to the show here. If you guys found any value out of today's episode, if you guys find any value out of any episode, you guys find any value out of this channel and all the things that I do out here, please, guys, you already know what's up. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode and enjoy all the other episodes. All right, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.